Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage your host for today, Head of India Business, Bikram Singh Bedi.
Good morning and welcome to the India AWS Mumbai Summit. If you have a seat empty next to you, can you just raise your hand because we have some people standing at the back of the room. All right, we have some seats up here. There's actually 2 rows that you could use. Let's just keep the lights on for like 10 seconds. Lots of seats up here in the front, some gaps there. We just wish that the walls of the venues in Mumbai were as elastic as the AWS crowd. We could fit in more people. Every year we keep looking for larger venues because we appreciate your time. We appreciate the fact that you, from your busy schedule, you spend a full day with us, and hence we try and keep the content as relevant, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. There are some seats here still, if you guys are looking for seats. There are some seats here still. All right. So after being your chief usher of the day, let me kick this off. So once again, welcome to the Mumbai India AWS Summit. Over 4,000 people attending across 2 days who are going to be going through 90 plus technical sessions. So that's what we have for you on the agenda. We have another 46 partner solutions on display. And then we've got these really cool zones outside. We've got the innovation zone, if you haven't already been there, some hot startups who are displaying cool technology that they've built on top of AWS. We also have an Amazon zone where you would be able to see all the new technologies, the new services that we are bringing to India. So lots of stuff to see there. And lastly, an ISV village, which is essentially ISVs are partners who are building solutions on top of AWS. They're displaying their ware. So I would strongly encourage you guys to go in there, have a look at the Partner Expo, and spend some time in those zones. That's the agenda for today. So right now we start the keynote, and after the keynote there are breakout sessions from 11:30 onwards till the end of day. We have 6 tracks for you. Those tracks are around building on AWS, scaling on AWS, securing your applications. We have a full track dedicated to security. How do you secure your applications on AWS? Migrating, that's the 4th track. Innovating on AWS. And last but not least, we have a track dedicated for public sector, for our guests who are from the public sector space, which includes education as well as healthcare. Some really exciting announcements that we're going to be making in the public sector's track. So please stay keyed there. A big thank you to all our sponsors. They support us in bringing these events to you. So thank you, and we will continue to associate with them over the years. A quick update on the AWS business to start with. These are Q4 2017 quarterly results that we put out into the market. As you can see, we are now a $20 billion plus business on run rate. And in Q4 2017, we grew the business by 45% year on year. So a very large number growing at a very large rate. About a week and a half ago, we announced our Q1 results for 2018. And not only had we increased the revenue, but the growth rate had gone to 49% year on year. So clearly shows you that the adoption of AWS is only accelerating despite the increasing numbers. Another thing that we pride ourselves on is our pace of innovation. We continue to innovate on behalf of our customers, all of you. We listen to you, and we continue to innovate. And as you can see from this chart up there, we started with 80 new services or major service releases or feature upgrades in 2011, and we've continuously accelerated on that. 2017, we came in at 1,430, either new services or major feature upgrades or releases. So we are not taking our foot off that accelerator or that pedal around innovation, and we will continue to innovate on your behalf. So when you're looking to migrate your workloads to the cloud, there is no reason for you to look at a fraction of the capability that is actually available with the market leader, that is AWS. If you look at this chart, we have over 125 services, 125 services today. We give you a complete toolkit that allows you to build around IoT, machine learning, augmented and virtual realities, productivity solutions, security, networking, storage, compute, all of that. Over 125 services, way more than any other vendor in the market has to offer. So large number of services. But when you look at the cloud that you want to migrate with, one is of course the number of services. The second is the feature set available in those services, the depth of those services. And what we did was we created a little bit of a comparator here. Now I could fill up slides and slides with this, but what we did was, we took 6 big services that we thought would be relevant to most customers. Starting from storage, we're the ones, so Amazon's the one in orange. So starting from storage to key management capabilities to relational databases, and then look at the last one, key security, governance, and compliance capabilities, and look at the gap. So if you're building applications which need governance, security, there is a significant gap as far as features are concerned between what AWS has to offer and the rest of the vendors in the market. That's the Gartner Magic Quadrant. For those of you who are not familiar with this, Gartner releases this Magic Quadrant. It basically has 2 axes. The y-axis talks about the ability to execute, and the x-axis talks about the completeness of vision. So when you look at any vendor, you map it on the x and y axis, and AWS is right up there on the top right-hand corner. And look at the gap between AWS and the rest of the vendors as far as ability to execute is concerned. Right? So a lot of people may have vision, but what are they able to execute today on the ground is really what is relevant. And AWS clearly a leader in both the axes. That's a footprint of our global infrastructure, 18 regions with 54 availability zones. And to remind you, those of you who are not aware of the architecture and how it works, an availability zone is a multitude of 1 or more data centers with low latency connectivity. So 54 of those, 114 edge locations. We call these points of presence for our CDN network. And we've already announced 4 more regions with another 12 availability zone coming soon, including Hong Kong, Sweden, and a number of other, Bahrain. So 4 more regions coming. An update on the India business. I'm sure all of you would be interested in knowing if we're seeing the same momentum in India. Yes, we are. In India today, we have hundreds of thousands of active customers using AWS. Hundreds of thousands. And an active customer is somebody who has used the AWS services over the last 30 days. Important point to note. A lot of companies talk about a large number of customers, but it's really relevant to see what are those customers doing with you. So hundreds of thousands of active customers in India today. That's the first one. Our partner network is called the Amazon Partner Network, APN. And we have tens of thousands of these partners across the globe. In 2017, we had over 10,000 new partners join the APN network. India as a country, outside the US as a country, India had the largest contribution to the net new APN partners globally. Not only that, when you look at these new partners, 50% of the partners that joined APAC came from India. So clearly a strong momentum around the customers as well as the partner base. And we continue to drive investments in India around infrastructure. So 2 years ago, we launched the India region. We now also have 5 CloudFront POPs. So we have the CDN network in India, which have 5 POPs in different parts of India, which help you cache your content and to accelerate it. We also have 4 direct connect facilities now. What that really means, a direct connect is a service which allows you to connect AWS with your infrastructure, your data centers. It's a fat pipe. And we have now 4 of those in the country. So you don't have to run these lines across the country into Mumbai. You could actually do it in Bangalore and Chennai as well. We have a local selling entity, which is called Amazon Internet Services Private Limited. This is a company that sells here locally in India. It allows you to transact in Indian rupees with GST. It also gives you the ability with local payment facilities, bank transfers, etc. So all of that is now possible. We've been running this now for a number of years, actually. And last but not least, we've set up a technical support center out of Bangalore. Big investment. These are, local engineering talent who is supporting global customers, including India. So big investment there. This is a list of our startup customers in India. We are very proud of being associated with these customers. Your Story, which is one of the leading publications in the startup ecosystem. The last time they published a list of the top 100 startups in India, we looked at that list. Over 90% of those used AWS. So as you can see, all the big names here, Delivery and Freshdesk and Capillary, who've grown to significant size. You can't call most of these startups anymore. They're large internet companies. ShareChat, great example. They are building back-end mobile applications on Lambda, which is what we provide as serverless technology. They do up to 150 million invocations in a day. 150 million. And the error rate is as low as 0.0002%. So they're just focused on writing better code for their customers, and they're leaving the entire backend to us using Lambda. That's a list of our enterprise customers. Again, we are very proud to be associated with all our customers, and some really, sorry, I pressed this twice. There you go. And some really big names there again. You're going to be hearing from a number of these customers as a part of the keynote today. But I'm going to talk about RBL Bank. They were up on stage yesterday. We had a solutions day, and they were on stage along with the National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI, where they launched UPI on AWS for RBL. So really proud moment for us yesterday, and they also spoke about banking on the cloud and all the new things that they're going to be running off AWS. So really, big strides we are taking in the whole financial space. A list of our public sector customers. For those of you who may not be aware, we were the first global public service provider, cloud service provider, to be empaneled by the Ministry of IT in India. So now you can use AWS to run your public sector or government workloads. And as you can see, lots of names there, including education. So Byju's, one of the hottest startups in the whole education space, is built and scaled on top of AWS. And then, of course, CSC and the Andhra Pradesh State Services Development Corporation, lots of public sector entities who have been using AWS. Last but not least, our partner ecosystem. I spoke about this. Different kinds of partners whom we work with, we support, including technical support, business support, marketing support, as well as go-to-market support. Born in the cloud partners like BlazeClan, BluePie, regional system integrators like Progressive, Orient, up here in Mumbai, and then of course large GSIs like PricewaterhouseCoopers, Wipro, DXC, all of them have built and are working on AWS for their customers along with us. And then ISVs who've built their IP, who've built their solution on top of AWS. New generation ones, as well as older ISVs who are building newer solutions. So new gen, Dhruva in the field of storage, Freshdesk, Ramco, who's built their cloud ERP on top of AWS. Lots of examples of ISVs and partners who are building the solutions on AWS for all our customers.